All right, guys, we are back, and on this picture frame, we're going to show you how we're going to use this jig. We just set at a 45-degree angle to make all our pieces. So to save time on measuring, we use the jig because we know we're going to be able to do this consistently over and over and over. It's all marked. So we had a friend of ours make this for us. We got these 2 blocks, and they're marked at all the measurements. Mr. Harris marked off all the measurements, so we're going to check to see if his math is correct. We have these 2 blocks, and the blocks are set on both ends so that everything is going to be consistent. So right now it's set, I'm sure you can't see it, but I'll at least flip it up for you. It's set at 7 inches. Then we have 8 inches, 9 inches, and 10 inches. So we'll be able to make both picture frames using this. So when we do this, we're going to have you guys come through in a line, and we'll cut all of one piece, and then we'll switch it to cut the other piece for one frame. And then we'll come back and we'll do the same thing, cut another measurement for one of them, cut the other measurement, so we can keep this moving, and the jig will make the work go really fast. So we're going to show you how fast it actually works as we go ahead and make our picture frames. So I'm going to put our sled in the gaps. We have the blade as high up as we can so that it is consistent with being able to cut through the wood. And we'll put the wood on here. You'll see both of us working. One's on the other end to make sure the long piece is firm, and the other one's going to be cutting here. Big important thing, we got to keep our fingers right against the edge, out of that red zone as best as we can, because that blade will be pretty close to us. Okay, so let me my stuff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to cut the 7 inches. It's 7 and 9, right?
7 and 9.
7 and 9.
This is the outside lengths of your picture frame.
Yep, outside measurements, right. Okay, so I'm going to put my wood in flush against the wood piece. Okay, I'm going to back it up a little bit. Now this thing doesn't sit perfectly, it's going to move up and down, so that's why you keep your hand firmly on the top or on the handles. So I'm going to turn on the machine. And now I'm going to keep my hands outside the red. We're going to push it through. All that. So we got the 145-degree angle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the long end of the 45-degree is pushed flush against the opposite side. Outward. Sorry, outward. So it's going to be away from you. There we go. Nice and flush. And I'm going to push through. And back. Push the little piece out of the way. We have a box down here to throw our junk in. But now you can see we got our piece. Long ends are always outward. I said that backwards. I don't know if you can hear me. Long ways are outwards. Okay, so that's 1/2.
We already cut 1, so we have 2 now.
Yep. So now we have 2 of those, and now we're going to just slide. And this is when we would have everyone come back. We're going to set it to 9 inches now. Just a couple clamps, and we will make sure we're consistent so that we get the best results. Now this one I'm going to use already has a cut edge on it, so I'm going to have to use this later. Still, we're using the flush end. Okay, remember the flush end. Okay, now we're going to do 9 inches. You ready?
Yep.
Flush, back up.
Remember, I'm just holding this to make sure that it's flush here, and then I take it away.
Yep, I'm going to turn it on. Yeah. All right, it's okay to tilt it up and keep it against my gut. Encourage you to have a gut someday. All right, long end is out. All right, flush. Okay, so that's one piece. I'll do the next one. So now, remember, we already have 2 ends now that have pointy edges. Again, the pointed edge is outward, so I'm going to reuse this one on the same side to do my other piece. Flush? Yep. Got it. Good. And now, if you want to grab that, we can show them. We'll put it together, grab the camera. Okay. So we're going to show you how well these 45-degree angles turned out. Hopefully this works well. Okay, so when we go ahead and we put our pieces together just to check them, you can see that they're nice and flush, right against each other. good to go. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to router the inside edges of them. So when we go to router, we're going to be routering the short ends, right? The short ends for the inside so that we can fit our backing and our screen on the picture frame.